Hello, this is Chosun Hotel. There is a guest room building behind me. The hotel behind me is the first Western-style hotel in Korea. The reason I am here is because of the traditional building in front of me. That building is Hwanggudan. It was a building used by Korean kings to perform ancestral rites to heaven. It is a kind of folk religion. Korea has long had Confucianism as its state religion, and it was a rule of etiquette that kings had to regularly pray to heaven. This was because they had to show the people under their control that they had power granted by heaven. It is similar to how kings in medieval Europe met the Pope to gain recognition of their legitimacy. Originally, there were buildings around the Hwanggudan building, but they were all torn down and turned into a hotel. The entire hotel area was a place for ancestral rites. After I come down the stairs, I go out the main gate of Hwanggudan. After passing through this gate, you can see Seoul City Hall across the street. If you look to the left, you can see a tall building. It's the Plaza Hotel. If you look to the right, you can see another tall building. It's Hotel President. There are a lot of hotels here. There's a reason why there are so many hotels. Before that, there were shantytowns and Chinatowns where poor people lived around the city hall. There were no tall buildings like there are now. At that time, in 1966, US President Johnson visited Korea. At that time, the US President's visit to Korea was broadcast live on television around the world via satellite. The US President's welcoming ceremony was held here, and the poor buildings were broadcast live all over the world. During the Cold War, the poor image of Korea was revealed, and it was good for the communist bloc to use it as propaganda. That the city of Seoul in South Korea, which is in the free world, was really poor. Koreans who immigrated to the United States also missed their old homeland and watched the live broadcast on TV, but were shocked by the miserable poverty. In the end, in 1970, they decided to make at least this area nice and carried out a large-scale urban development project. That's how hotels were built here. The time I visited here was around 8:30 p.m. on a Saturday. People were enjoying a break in the plaza in front of the city hall. Children were playing in the playground or reading books on the soft chairs provided in the plaza. I don't know if people can read books properly because it's evening, but I saw people almost lying down. This place is always decorated as a special place. Originally it was just grass, but now it has a playground. Or sometimes event booths are set up. In the winter, an ice rink is set up, and it becomes a space for citizens to enjoy. In the old days, there was no city hall here. There was an organization called Gwana. It was an organization that served as both the city hall and the police. During the Japanese colonial period, when railroads were laid and industrialization occurred in Korea, the population of Seoul increased rapidly, so a new city hall was built here to manage this. That building is still in use today. I'm walking on the crosswalk right now. Gyeongbokgung Palace is 20 minutes away on the right, and Seoul Station is 20 minutes away on the left. Seoul City Hall is also very close to Myeongdong Street. The address of City Hall is already Myeongdong, and it's 10 minutes away in the opposite direction of where I'm walking. The main tourist areas of Seoul are concentrated in the old downtown area. Another traditional building can be seen in the front, that is Deoksugung Palace. It is located on the west side of the five palaces in Seoul. The kings of Korea stayed in the palace they preferred among the five palaces. The one in front was used as an office by the last king of Korea. Although it is a building that was built over 500 years ago, the interior is modern. If you go into the alley on the left side of the palace, this is a famous walking path in Seoul. It is also famous as a dating spot for couples. Unlike Gyeongbokgung Palace, the stone wall is not high, so when you take a picture, the roof of the fence is visible, making it much prettier. In the fall, this entire path becomes filled with colorful maple leaves. It is famous as a dating spot for couples. But there is also a rumor that if you walk this path with your lover, you will definitely break up. The reason this rumor spread is because there is a family court nearby. Couples who wanted to get divorced had to pass by here to go to the family court. You can easily see couples breaking up as many as happy couples. If you look to the left, you can't see it well because it's covered by trees. But there's a tall building. It's the Seoul City Hall Annex. The Seoul City Hall main building that was in front of the plaza earlier was too small, so they built an annex here. You can see a lot of couples on weekends, but on weekdays, you can see a lot of office workers. There are the old American Embassy, British Embassy, and Russian Embassy around this road. It is right next to Deoksugung Palace. The embassies of the great powers were concentrated here. During the Great Game period in the 19th century, when the British Empire and the Russian Empire were fiercely at odds, Korea was also at a crossroads of whether to side with Britain or Russia. Unfortunately, the King of Korea at the time chose to side with the Russian Empire, which is one of the reasons why Korea became a colony. At that time, Japan sided with the British Empire, and the British Empire had limited direct influence in this area in the Far East, so it fully supported Japan. The Russian Empire lost the war with Japan and agreed to no longer exert influence over Korea. It is a truly sad history for Korea, but it is a painful experience of how the fate of a country can change depending on the direction of the leader's diplomacy. At that time, Korea was a kingdom, so the people could not choose their leader. But now it has become a country where the people choose their leader. Now Koreans live in a world where they can choose and take responsibility for the fate of their country. This is the end of my Seoul Night Walk video. Thank you for watching.